Hello and welcome everybody to another The StarCraft Showcast. Today we'll be casting Ref, the purple Terran in the upper right hand corner, against Itchebobo, the orange Protoss player in the bottom left hand corner of the screen. So this map is going to be Xel'Naga Caverns, one of my most favorite maps. There's a lot of things that both of these races can do, but as a Protoss player, I personally love abusing Blink Stalkers right over here. If the other player doesn't have good vision of his own base, that could really be effective. Also the natural, very close, very easily defendable as long as you keep your eye on right over here. But definitely take a look at the APM just so we can see what he's talking about. 225, that's a lot of finger clicking. And of course the two of them here going at it. So a little bit of background on this matchup. Ref and Itchebobo are two members, two diamond ranked players. I'm not quite sure what their rank is, but they're both diamond ranked StarCraft players from the newly formed Concordia Starcraft Club. This is Concordia University in Montreal, Quebec, and they recently just started a club. So we should be seeing some great stuff from them. TT1 is actually a Concordia student. So that alone should indicate that some pretty awesome things should be seen from this club. So the barracks going down, the refinery going down for Ref here at 13. Very, very standard opening for Terran. And right over here, I'm pretty sure that gateway went down at 13, and there's the assimilator at 15. So definitely very standard play from the Protoss player as well. So nothing too surprising as of yet, but then again, I can pretty much safely say, because I think I checked it out, Itchebobo is, I think, an 1800 level diamond player. I'm pretty sure. Ref, I think a little bit less, maybe 1100. We'll check that out later. But this should be a pretty epic matchup, so I can't wait to see what happens. Of course, I like the pylon placement just all around. You gotta make sure you do this so that you have good vision. And the orbital command dropping right now for Ref. So in our resources tab, everything seems to be just about the same. Of course, the minerals here, I mean 16 to 17 supply count. So the game right now pretty much tied. No early pressure being exerted from anybody over here. I mean, the tech lab going down, another barracks actually. So a bit surprised that we're not seeing another supply depot go down first, but it's definitely going to be either a 3 or 4 racks push, and the factory should be coming a little bit later than in other Terran builds. Of course, the assimilator here just finishing, a little bit annoying, but this Marine should be able to clean it up. I'm actually surprised Itchebobo didn't cancel that, because he could have used those 75 resources. But at 22 food, Cybernetics Core is researching Warp Gate. Not that bad, a little bit late. I feel like it could have been researched a little bit earlier, but really not so bad. I mean, the food count here is 24 right now, so the stock here are going to make sure this SCV does not get away with his life. And it always sucks. Oh, actually, no, there we go. I thought he was going to get away there for a second, which would be pretty epic, because that Stalker has some pretty decent range and some really fast legs. But the second gateway going down right now for our Protoss player. And I'm actually surprised to see that this assimilator is still surviving. Pretty much a little badass assimilator. It's wearing Kevlar. And the third gateway going down, I'm curious to see as to whether this is going to stick at 3 gates with a robotics bay, or whether he's going to go for the 4 gateway. Although in the Diamond League, you don't really see 4 gates as much as you do in lower leagues such as Gold or Platinum, but definitely a viable build, definitely known to succeed. So at the 5-minute mark, we should be seeing some sort of aggression being put on within the next few minutes, or some sort of expansion coming, and of course the command center being built here by Ref. So it's definitely going to be an expansion, and judging by the few amount of army units built by Itchebobo here, mainly comprising of stalkers, it also leads me to believe there might be some sort of early aggression, nothing that's going to cause too much damage, and then an expansion thrown down as well for our Protoss player. A scan dropping right now, so you can see that the robotics facility is being built. And if I find the right camera, there we are. Yes, he definitely spotted that robotics facility. So the observers should be out soon. Also, should have seen the army composition of Itchebobo, which is simply stalkers right now, which is not so bad, although based on the lack of scouting, I could argue it was fairly risky not to at least have one sentry in the arsenal here to at least wall off this ramp in case there was going to be a Marine Marauder push early on in the game. 3 more Stalkers being built, and now the Observer finally out, so the first push is going to happen right now. It'll be very interesting to see if our Terran player Ref here can hold off this many Stalkers, because that is a lot of Stalkers this early in the game. 7 minutes and there's 9 Stalkers. The SCV and probe count pretty much the same, and this Mule Heal already counting for like 4. I think I said Mule Heal. But pretty decent defense with this bunker here. Has 2 Marauders in it. However, 9 Stalkers are going to do some significant damage. And, of course, each Ref's forced to retreat. This refinery finishing, which is kind of unfortunate because this push is going to do some serious damage. Of course, luckily, Terran is so OP that they can fly their command centers away to escape permanent damage. And these SCVs and Marines and Marauders should be able to keep this army at bay, although picking off that refinery always hurts, and forcing this expansion to be delayed. So 400 minerals not going into good use right now. And I like this push, well timed. It's not going to end the game, but it's definitely going to buy Itchebobo a little bit of time to set up his own expansion, which is exactly what he's doing, more than halfway done, a pylon being thrown down over there. So he can stay in this game, and I would actually make the claim that he has an advantage right now. Waiting for a few more Stalkers to arrive, he should definitely get there before this bunker is complete, because he's starting to amass another army, looking much more sizable than it was the first push. And this command center should be able to land with relative safety this time around. But Itchebobo really did buy himself enough time to make sure he was in this game economically, and I think this one's going to go into the late game. More Stalkers arriving. Another Observer. I wonder what happened to the first one. Or did it actually get sniped out? Yes, it did get sniped out. So now some Immortals on the way, which is, I think, a very good idea, especially if our Terran player is going to be bunkering, and you always want that Immortal there to fire off some nice blue shells of doom at the bunkers and at other heavily armored units that are probably going to arrive at one point or another. Factory being laid down right now, along with a Ghost Academy. Ooh, I wonder if I am so bold in saying we may see a little bit of nuke play. It would be very cool if we did, because nukes are always fun. I just actually saw the most fail nuke of my life during MLG this weekend, however, between Torch and... Oof, I don't want to say the wrong player, but it might have been the little one, I think, maybe. But I know it was Torch, and he laid the worst nuke I've ever seen, but it was so bad it was good. If you guys know what that means. I think you do. Anyways, both assimilators being dropped down, leading me to believe that there will be a robotics bay, and there it is, dropping down. So there's definitely going to be some Colossus, opting to go for Colossus instead of High Templars. Personal preference of mine as well. I don't know, those big jet beams of light just look like the Colossus is taking a huge piss on the enemy, so that's pretty much the effect as well. I mean, nothing really survives very long. Oh, just look at that. Blasted to smithereens. You can actually see his rib cage just sitting there and disintegrating to the ground so that someone can farm it later on for corn or something stupid like that. And right now, this expansion in full swing. Minerals looking quite healthy for our Protoss player. And if we go into the income tabs, sorry about that, I don't know all my hotkeys off by heart yet. The income is about even. The harvesters just about even again. Always remember that Terran can have mules. Anyways, right now, very well-timed push by our Protoss player, making sure that nothing gets too out of hand, taking down that bunker. I like it. Another reason why the Immortal is very useful, though it just got sniped out. So right now, losing his army, has to run this away. Only one Stalker is going to make it out. But you know what? I think, although the Protoss player did come, he came off a little bit worse in the end from that push. It was a nice trade-off, because he was able to destroy the bunker, kill a lot of units from Ref, and basically keep himself in this game. The macroing from our Terran player seems to be a lot more decent than from our Protoss player, who is sitting at around 1,000 minerals right now, simply warping in Stalkers and finally researching Extended Thermal Lance and building his first Colossus. Right here we have a Twilight Council going down, which leads me to believe we may be seeing some Blink. And if we do see Blink, then this right here, like I pointed out in the beginning of the game, is an excellent place for the Blink Stalkers to just hop up and wreak some havoc while the army is dealing with something down here, maybe a few Colossus. Also the Colossus, of course, which are just able to walk right over this, can join the Stalkers. This is probably why the army composition is mostly consisting of Stalkers and soon to be more Colossus with the second one. It is right now a little less than halfway complete. And breaking down these rocks so you can get to this third expansion, although I'm a bit curious as to why he doesn't want to expand to the gold. This push here going to be coming very soon from our Terran player. Pretty sizable army with that medevac and a few ghosts actually. Just want to keep track of the upgrades here. One armor being dropped right now, as well as... Oh, I thought something was being researched there when you see that thing going like that. But I guess I was wrong. I totally lost my train of thought. And now I'm yawning. These guys are just so boring. No, just joking. And it actually is charge lots and a Templar archive. So we're actually going to be seeing High Templars and Colossus. Definitely going to be a really heavy gas build, which would explain why you went for the 2 gas so early in the expansion right now. Definitely going to be needed if he's going to be, using Psystorm and Colossus. It's going to be a really ridiculous build to maintain. Hopefully it pays off, but right now this huge push coming down by Ref, this looks really nasty. I mean, they've all got stim and the concussive shells are researched, as well as one armor and 1 attack. So this is starting to look really nasty. Medevac's providing sight right there, but 2 Colossus looking even dirtier. Psionic Storm not yet researched, and these High Templars are just trying to amass enough energy to deal with the impending push. These Hellions doing a little bit of damage, taking out a few probes, nothing too significant. And this army over here actually opting to back off, as they did see the High Templars and the Colossus, of course not knowing whether Psionic Storm is researched or not. Plus, Charge Lots is now complete, so this is a really interesting unit composition, and it should be fairly deadly if managed properly. The only problem, once again, is just how gas intensive it is, and I'm really curious to see if he's going to be able to warp in enough High Templars and enough Colossus to do a lot of damage, because once again the macroing abilities of this Terran player is simply astonishing, walking here with double or almost triple the amount of units as he did about a minute and a half ago. I do not think he scouted out this base right here. Nope, my bad. He absolutely has. So he may be sending in the Hellions there. Maybe going for a double push. I would not be surprised. Bringing down the rocks for the gold expansion. So I think our Terran player is going to go directly for the gold expansion instead of the third base right over here. The Protoss player actually opting to leave right now. A Psionic Storm is researched. A bit surprised he's not waiting for his upgrade to finish first. Although Kaidaran Amulet's also on the way, it would be really helpful if that could just finish before this push. But we should be seeing a lot of damage now with these charge lots, and 3 Colossus with extended thermal lance, plus Ionic Storm is ready, and these High Templars have been around long enough to have enough energy. Kaidaran Amulet going to finish so soon. Oh, he's got to be careful he doesn't get surrounded. This is going to hurt so much. Really bad placement from our Protoss player. Psionic Storm going down, ripping them apart in the Thermal Lance, finishing them, but nonetheless, the trade-off has just been extremely significant. I'm really surprised these High Templar are still alive, to be honest with you. Just this Kaidaran Amulet finishing just at the right time to land a few super deadly Psionic Storms, but right now, Archon's morphing in, but arguably the Terran player coming out on top from that battle. Our Protoss player desperately trying to macro up. He has tons of minerals, and he actually has a significant amount of gas, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him warp in more High Templars any second now, although all his warp gates are ready, and I don't see any units being built. Oh, and there they are finally, just a few of them. Charge lots, no High Templars yet, who would have enough energy if warped in. I'm really surprised he's not doing that. And, oh, this is just really dirty play. Nice use of the high ground here. I didn't know that Hellions could actually reach that far. They have to be really careful not to get hit by these Stalkers who move so fast and have such great range. But one of them did get sniped, another one gone, and the 2 here probably going to go down, try to see if they can get another 2 kills. Opting not to, however, these little buggies driving off. Not even Stalkers can catch up to them. Now finally our Protoss player macroing pretty hard. Using his warp gates pretty efficiently. finally seeing some more High Templars, some more Colossus.